Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jay, he's Maddie, and this is our Super Bowl prop bets. Are we excited for the prop bets, Maddie?
Yeah, we realized at the end of last show that we didn't really give you the betting platform that we normally give. So we've gone and found some of the most betted on things that happen in the Super Bowl. So exciting. Makes the Super Bowl even more fun than it already is if you put a little dabble on these kind of things.
Yep. And then before we get to it, I just want to remind everybody that the 4th annual Street Beefs Awards, brought to you by Heart in the Fight, are February 10th at 10 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you check that out at Heart in the Fight on YouTube. It's a really cool event. This is their 4th time doing it. It's a lot of fun. Fire Chicken's going to be handing out an award, and the Scrapyard is going to be dropping a big announcement that was teased last night, but none of us know what it is. So it's an exciting time. And anybody who likes street beefs, I know Scarface said a while back that there was going to be no more branches, but the UK knockoff street beefs pissed them off. So they're
Good.
greenlit and pushing through faster, the UK branch. But exciting news. Looks like Street Beefs Midwest is coming to Minnesota, so it'll be right at my doorstep. So if that happens, I will be involved because I've been talking to the guy who's starting it with Scarface, and that'll be a lot of fun if that happens too. I'm excited. I hope it happens because I'd love to be a part of that.
Yeah, Street Beefs UK is an interesting one because obviously they had the whole some guy basically just tried to knock off Street Beefs, so now it's kind of accelerated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope that nobody would notice and got caught pretty much immediately. Hey, Street Beefs, it's a loyal gathering, man. As soon as they saw that, they were ready to go for it.
It would have went over better if when everybody got upset and started, like, they dogged the shit out of their Facebook page, if the dude would have just said, hey, we respect Street Beefs, this is what we're doing, I hope we can work together. But he made a video saying there's nothing you can do about it, which... when you tell a group of alpha fighters there's nothing they can do about it. Yeah. So
yeah, it's not the group to go after in that kind of way. The Street Beefs guys, they come on this show and they dog the shit out of me all the time. And I'm a nice Brit. Like he's like a bit of an asshole Brit, that guy. And
the awesome thing about Street Beefs is every branch has its own personality. So, like, Street Beefs West Coast is the shit talkers. They talk shit better than any other Street Beefs group. So, it's cool. They all have their own personality, and I really hope that works out because, Maddie, one of the big things they want to do with Street Beefs Midwest is they want to fight in the snow.
Oh, fun. That'll be interesting. They should do a Street Beefs Eastern Europe. I'll run the Street Beefs Eastern Europe branch, and then we'll definitely get some. We'll fight in front of just some Soviet buildings, get some bottles of vodka around.
Those Russians do some crazy fucking shit. Like, have you seen this phone booth? Have you seen this phone booth boxing those Russians are doing?
Yes, I have seen
that shit. Is wild, bro. If none of you have seen it, Google it. That's all I'll say about it. It is wild.
Yeah. They would bring something interesting to the Street Beefs community, I imagine, if we got some bottles of vodka and an Eastern European ring set up.
There's something about those Russian fighters, man. Khabib and all those dudes out there wrestling bears and shit. In what is it, Kazakhstan? I don't know if I said that right, but
yeah, Kazakhstan. They're pretty nuts. Is Khabib Russian? I thought Khabib was from like Uzbekistan or like one of the stands, right?
It's Kazakhstan, isn't that Russia? But his dad's Russian.
Kazakhstan. Right, okay. Kazakhstan isn't Russia. Like used to be part of the Soviet Union. Yeah.
Yeah, and his dad was friends with Putin, and that was the big thing when Conor McGregor told him that your dad's Putin's bitch. Remember that? Like, yeah.
Okay.
And then Khabib's comeback was you guys don't even speak your own language. It got taken from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Russians and the Kazakhs can't really say that, but yes.
Yeah, like so and then in all fairness, Conor went after not only his dad, rest in peace, but he went after his religion, and there's certain things you should probably leave alone. And Connor doesn't know when to shut the fuck up sometimes, but I digress. So,
Yeah,
Maddie, we got some prop bets going. You sent a couple over. I got a couple cool sheets of prop bets we can go through. So this should be fun.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get into it. Let's see where we end up.
Well, I got yours pulled up right away. Let's start with the easy ones. Let's go with what color Gatorade will be dumped at the end of the game. And here is the lines for the betting of the colors of Gatorade.
Yeah. Yeah, what's interesting about that is deciding the odds. Like, how do you decide the odds of the Gatorade being dumped, like on previous years?
I don't know, but is anybody missing this? Like, okay, so plus 400 is wild because I'm picking red. Both teams wear red. I'm picking red just because I'm like, wouldn't both teams have red Gatorade because their colors are red? So plus 400 is wild. I would go with red. That's just me.
I like plus 400. I know the Chiefs. I seem to remember them dumping orange last year, so I don't think they'll go
because it's the best flavor
for the same
Gatorade.
Again. Maybe like, are they actually drinking the Gatorade that they're dumping as well? Is the question on? Do they have a special dump item? I think I'm happy to rule out purple. I'm happy to rule out blue. I think they're colors that just don't work on that level. I think it's between red and yellow. Since you're going red, I'll go for yellow, green, and lime because then I get 3 for the price of 1.
I almost went with no Gatorade because if Andy Reid wins, do they douse him again or does he take off? Because some of these coaches get smart and take off, but I'm going with red.
I think you've got to like getting doused, right? Is that not
your first couple times, right? Doused? But now this is like going to be their third time if they win. Do you want that third, dumping of Gatorade? So
yeah,
I was looking at that.
Shanahan is getting coated.
So, and then the other one you sent kind of fucked me up because it's which Usher song will go first. I think it's Confessions, which isn't even on here, so I don't know where my bet is.
All right. Well, then you get plus 4,000 and something.
Okay, because
like,
I think it's Confessions. I think he starts with because it's his biggest song, it's his oldest hit. I don't know why. I just feel like that's the song you got to start with if you're Usher to get the crowd going.
I think he'll end on OMG. Right. I think that's what he'll end on. I think that's probably one of his most well-known songs, OMG. I think he'll end on that. What I think he'll start with is DJ Got Us Fallen in Love. Interestingly, the past 3 times, the favorite of this category of betting hasn't won. The favorite hasn't won. So he might go different and go with My Way. I'll be interested to know if he looks at the betting lines while he's planning out his set. That'll be interesting. But I think it'll be DJ's Got Us Fallen in Love. I think the beginning suits the beginning of the show. And he'll bring out Pitbull, Mr. Universe, at the very start of his show to get the crowd hyped up there for the rest of his set. So I'll take DJ Got Us Falling in Love plus 1,100.
So this is a stupid question because I'm sure the answer is yes, but Usher's a superstar in the UK also?
Yeah, for like my generation, it was like played at all of our school discos and stuff like that. He's massive in like Latvia as well. Like Cynthia knows every word to his songs and everything. He's all over the world. He did a song with Pitbull, so he's Mr. Universe adjacent.
I fucking hate Pitbull, but don't get me started on that. Not as a person, just like his suits and his bald head and his and that song yelling when they're like, we're yelling timber. I want to punch Pitbull in his face. But that's what's wild to me is watching countries that don't speak English, but their kids can sing a song, every word of it in English.
Yeah, it's actually a really good way to like learn pronunciation of English words. Like in Thailand, like when the English teachers are teaching, they'll just start the lessons with putting like whatever pop song is the biggest in Thailand at that moment in time, like whatever English pop song is the biggest, like in that moment in time. It's really interesting to watch like how crazy they all go. And if you ask like who their favorite musician is, it's always like Ed Sheeran, Beyonce, like Adele, people like that, which is just quite interesting.
Yeah, it's always wild to me though when you watch somebody like sing a complete song in a different language, and I think to myself like, you nailed it, but do you even know what they were saying? Sometimes I wonder, you know.
Yeah, I do think that sometimes because I once did a talent show with a group of kids in China, and they like asked me to like put on certain songs on the talent show, and it was all like what year was it? It was 2019. So it was all like songs in the realm of like WAP and Anaconda and those kind of things, which is just overly sexual. And like as a joke, I sent the list to the other teacher, like to the Chinese teacher, and she like okayed them all. And I was like, you guys don't know what any of this means. We're not singing this with a group of like 12-year-olds doing like Anaconda on stage. That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, let's sing a song that stands for wet ass pussy. Like, okay.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, that is wild too, because like, yeah, because the parents of those kids probably don't understand what's being said, so they don't know what they're listening to.
Oh, no, the parents wouldn't have had a clue. Like we ended up doing this song from Les Miserables where it was "Do you hear the people sing?" Because I was like, oh, they'll love this. Red flags waving around, people rising up. Oh, China, yeah, that'd be great. They'll really enjoy that. And then the song disappears like 3 days before, taken off the Chinese internet, disappears behind the firewall. Obviously, we don't know why. And then I get out of China, go to Hong Kong, and realize it's the anthem for the Hong Kong protests against Chinese rule. So I got a group of 30 kids to sing a Hong Kong protest song to 800 Chinese parents, and like didn't even realize it. It's okay. I went back through China recently and they didn't arrest me. So
I was gonna say you're lucky you didn't get arrested. Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. Like, Maddie's lucky he's not in a Chinese prison making iPhones. Okay, that was a bad joke about the iPhones. So we got these other prop bets. Oh, do you remember the first Super Bowl we did? And I'm like, who the fuck is The Weeknd? That's how old I am. I'm like, I don't even know who the fuck The Weeknd is.
Oh, wow.
I told you that. Oh, wow. And you were like, you were telling me what songs he sings. I'm like, I don't know, dude.
Yeah. No, big deal. The Weeknd. Do you know this singer, the person who's singing the national anthem? Brian McKeed or something like that?
Not the name. Maybe if I heard some songs. Like, I don't listen to the radio. So, because I listen to a lot of indie, I listen to a lot of 90s, and my wife listens to the radio, though. So I may have heard this person sing before, but I don't know who they are.
Yeah, she's a country singer. I've never heard her before.
Oh, then I have no idea. I know like 4 country singers.
Country, so I don't know. Yeah. I don't know because it's country. Not that I hate country music, just I don't listen to it that often. So for me, country singers take a long time to get through their songs. Like when I'm envisioning country singers. However, 90.5 seconds to sing the Star Spangled Banner is pretty wild for me. If it's not some like soul singer, like I'm smashing the over if it's soul and it's like everything is like the land of the free.
Yeah, I was just gonna say if it was Christina Aguilera, I'm going with over, but with a country singer, I'm going under.
Yeah, with the country singer, I think a bit more straightforward. I'm going for the under on 90.5.
I'm with you. I'm taking the under also. This is a big one that always happens for prop bets. What will be the result of the coin flip? Heads or tails? I always go heads, so I'm going heads.
Right. Weirdly, I always go tails because I used to love the rhyme. Tails never fails. As a kid, so I always go tails.
First time I've ever heard that.
Well, there you go. Tails never fails. So there you go.
All right. So Maddie's going tails. I'm going heads. And then we have, will the opening kickoff result in a touchback? Yes.
Yeah. See, there's a couple of these bets where you could do some proper research into it, like look into punt returners, look into distance of kick and everything. I think start the game out with a bang, adrenaline pumping, run it back. They'll run it back. No touchback for the kickoff.
See, and I feel yes, because 90% of kickoffs, if not more, end in touchback. And I feel like these kickers are going to put it out the back of the end zone to start the game so that they don't have to worry about their team giving up a special teams touchdown to start the game. That's just my thought on it. But so Maddie and I are going different on those prop bets. What will the result of the opening drive be? A touchdown, field goal, punt, or other?
Yeah, I feel like I'll rule out punt quite early on because I think the scripting of both teams will be pretty good for those first.
You should probably pick a different word. People already think the NFL is scripted. I knew what you meant, but I'm just saying.
That's what you call it. That's what the coaches do. They script the first 15
everybody's going to go, Maddie said they were scripted. I told you the NFL is scripted.
It's a British conspiracy. They know what they're doing over here. They're just trying to get us back for us winning the war. They're ruining our game.
Yeah.
So I think they'll have pretty good scripting going forward. I think if KC receive the ball, I think they're going to score a touchdown on the first drive. 49ers, I think they'll score a field goal. Give me the touchdown on the first drive.
I think I would go with the touchdown on either drive because I think whoever receives the ball is going to have their mind 100% focused on getting ahead because of the way what we talked about in the last podcast. I know just because you want it to happen doesn't always mean it's going to, but like you said, usually the first 15 to 20 plays are scripted and they've ran them all week. I like a touchdown to start the game.
Yeah, with the way that the Chiefs came out at the start of their last game against the Ravens as well, I think they'll go heavy Travis Kelce first up just to get the game flow started and try and get out in front. Just give me that touchdown.
What will the first turnover of the game be? Fumble, interception, or turnover on downs? I'm going to say I think it's an interception off of a Kansas City receiver's hands.
Really? Like it. I mean, yeah, you can see KC dropping it, and the way that they're letting it burst through the hands throughout the season. They haven't in the off season, but they have been kind of hitting up. I remember Grant did one that they got away with against the Ravens recently, and that they are hitting up, which is exactly what you're not meant to do. That's the opposite of what you're meant to do. If it's flying, let it fly.
I feel like it's going to be Kadarius Toney too, but I didn't want to go that specific.
He hasn't really played for that. I think they'll get. I don't know whether he'll get any time playing Toney. I wouldn't play him personally. See, I kind of wanted to go for turnover on downs on the last one because I think they're going to get into this mindset of, oh, we're behind, and they'll be in field goal range, and it'll be a turnover on downs. Brock Purdy has some interception history. I don't think it'll be a fumble. I don't think Pacheco is going to fumble. I don't think McCarthy's going to fumble. The Chiefs have forced a few fumbles, but I don't think it's that. Give me turnover on downs.
All right. And then which team will score first, the 49ers or the Chiefs? I'm just thinking, I feel like Chiefs win the toss, they go down and score. 49ers win the toss, they go down and score. Chiefs have to play catch up, but that's me, so I'm going with the 49ers.
I think the Chiefs might have to. I think the Chiefs might end up getting the ball no matter what, because I think the 49ers will defer, even though I don't think they should. I think they'll defer, and I think the Chiefs will receive first up. and I think they'll score on the first down of the drive. So give me the Chiefs.
Okay, I think both teams will defer. That should have been a question on here because I think both teams would defer if they win. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that would be a good question.
Which team will reach 10 points first? I will say the Chiefs. 49ers score first, Chiefs score 10 first.
Yeah, I'm going for the Chiefs on that one as well. I think the Chiefs have been hotter when they've been starting games. The 49ers have been a bit off when they've been starting games recently. So give me the Chiefs in that one.
All right. Which quarterback will throw the first touchdown pass? Mahomes.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes for me.
Yeah, me too, because I think Christian McCaffrey scores the first touchdown of the game.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It would be interesting to see if Brock Purdy does get a touchdown pass. Like, I'm not, just because of the way they play the game. Like, again, no shade on Brock Purdy, but just the way they play the game.
Well, he's going to hit Debo or Ayuk in the back of the end zone, streaking across before that's over, before that game's over.
Yeah, probably.
I'm just like I'm saying it like I know it's a fact too. Like he will.
That's a fact. That's a fact right there. That's a fact.
See, this next one to me feels like it's just an easy yes. Will either team score in the final 2 minutes of the first half? Yes, both might.
Both might. Yeah, I think the Brock Purdy has an excellent 2-minute drill. Like in the past playoff games, his 2-minute drill has been excellent. And Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes, so obviously he has a great 2-minute drill as well. So yes.
Couldn't you see like one of the teams scoring, leaving a minute left on the clock, and then the other team driving down and getting a field goal before?
Yeah.
Like I could see them both scoring with 2 minutes left in the half. So
yeah, that would be a great question. Will both teams score in the final 2 minutes of the half?
How many songs will Usher perform at halftime? Over and under 8.5?
I think that's a pretty huge number, 8.5. Like, how long do they get for their halftime show?
It's a half hour. Well, they get 20 minutes because it's a half hour, but they don't sing the whole song. Remember, they do that mashup.
Yeah, they do like a few mashups.
Over because Usher has so many hits. Usher has so many hits. I think it's over.
Yeah, it does need to run through. Them all, but his songs do have quite big build-ups. Is more what I'm going for. But they also quite easily mash together. So if we're counting like layering over the top with choruses and everything like that, then no, I'm still going to take under 8.5.
All right. Will Ludacris make an appearance at halftime? Yes or no?
Yes, definitely. 100. Like, yeah, Ludacris will, and Pitbull will as well. They try and get as many in as they can, right?
Yeah, but why is Ludacris the one that we're asking about on here? Just because him and Usher on the same label? Well, they used to be. Like, I don't know. It's not like they're in Atlanta.
Do they have any songs together?
Yeah, but it's not like they're in Atlanta, and Ludacris is technically from Chicago, but he reps Atlanta. I don't know. I'm going to say no to Ludacris.
All right. I just think they just try and reel out as many as they possibly can, especially with guys like Usher, where it's like nostalgia, kind of. Like it's kind of nostalgia vibes.
I'll be happy if they do. I'm just saying no.
All right. How many players will attempt a pass? What an interesting question.
I say
go on, Joe, you go first.
Because Christian McCaffrey throws a pass off of play. It'll be a halfback pass to Debo or Ayuk, maybe even Kittle. But yeah, I'm going to say we have a trick play by San Francisco where McCaffrey throws a pass.
Yeah, I'm going to go with over, but for a different reason, because I think Travis Kelce is going to throw a pass in this game.
Okay.
As well. I think it would be crazy to not catch that defensive line out by throwing a bubble screen and then a down the field pass to Rice for Travis Kelce. And anyway, that's what the NFL want, because then they can show Taylor Swift going crazy. So, you know.
Will there be a missed field goal?
How many misses do we know how many misses the 49ers kicker has this year?
Not a clue.
I'll look it up. Because Butker is pretty automatic. Jake Moody missed the game winner against the Broncos. Okay, so career stats, he's at 84%. Jake Moody. So I'm going to say no on that one. No on that one.
I'm going to say yes, Kansas City misses a field goal.
Kansas City, you think Butker's missing?
Yep.
All
and
right.
He's been my fantasy quarterback kicker 3 years in a row.
Okay. I think he's a great fantasy kicker, right? Because he notches them from 50, that's what you're looking in fantasy kickers. You're looking for amount of field goals. So you don't want the Detroit Lions kicker because they're going to go for on fourth down all the time, and you want somebody who's kicking 50-yarders because that's where the big points are.
And then we have who will finish with more passing yards, Brock Purdy or Patrick Mahomes. I say Brock Purdy ends up with a better passing percentage, but Mahomes ends up with more yards.
All right. Yeah, I think the way that the gameplay works if the 49ers have their ideal gameplay, Brock Purdy is going to have less passing yards than Patrick Mahomes, if you get what I mean. Because
I saw a joke where somebody was like, we get to watch Brock Purdy go 31 of 37 for 186 yards.
Yeah, but see, that's the interesting thing about Brock Purdy, because he doesn't do that. That's not what his stats look like. If Brock Purdy goes 31 of 37, it's on like his air yards are 100 and whatever, but the yak is out of this world. Like, he throws the ball about 8 yards of throw, and then they make an extra 5 to 10 yards every time they play with that. So yeah, but that's behind the line of scrimmage though. Like that, I would be interested to see how that changes within the 10-yard line.
Brock Purdy was in the top 5 of passes in the air over 20 yards this year.
All right, I'm a big fan of Purdy.
Yeah, people don't give him the credit for being as accurate as he is.
Yeah, it's because it's because of the way he looks, and it's because of the way where he was drafted, right? Like, he looks like he shouldn't be flinging the ball down the field. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't look like Josh Allen having a cannon of an arm. He doesn't look like Trevor Lawrence, and he was drafted last, so they give him that. But I think Patrick Mahomes will end with more yards just because of the gameplay of the 49ers.
Who will finish with more rushing yards, McCaffrey or Pacheco? I would take McCaffrey.
Yeah, we spoke about this.
Pacheco doesn't have very many 100-yard games. He just runs angry.
Yeah, he's not that kind of. We spoke about this yesterday. He's not that kind of runner. He's not burst to the outside, hit the Jets, and take it to the house or take it to the house 30-yard carries, all of those kind of things. He will grind you down, and then he gets the Chiefs into really nice positions to throw. So for 2nd and 4, like third and short, like all the time. That's what you get from Pacheco. Christian McCaffrey can explosive run and burst. So give me McCaffrey as well.
Who will finish with more receiving yards? Deebo Samuels, Brandon Ayuk, Travis Kelce.
I'll let you go first on this one.
I take Deebo. I don't even think it's a question.
Really?
Deebo is the go-to for San Francisco. And like you were just talking, Deebo's biggest asset is his yards after the catch. Deebo is a running back who can run routes and catch the ball like a receiver. I mean, he's literally runs like he's a running back once he has the ball. Ayuk is great for the down the field, move it. Kelce is that outlet. but Debo is what makes San Francisco go when it comes to that passing game. So I just like Debo Samuels.
Yeah, I think with the Yak stats, the Chiefs have really good tackle rate this year. Like the Chiefs have for the NFL, the Chiefs have a really low percentage of tackles missed this year. So, but that's not on guys like Debo. Like Debo Samuel is a monster, like to take down. I think it's going to be Travis Kelce. I think after what we saw against the Ravens, where he had off 11 targets, took in 11 catches, I think he played excellently. I think the 49ers would be silly not to try and just completely take him out of the game, and they have to win it through Rice. But they'll also be wary of trying to stop the run, and then that's where Travis Kelce gets a bit dangerous. So give me Kelce on that one.
All right. These next few we already answered. Who will win the Super Bowl? You picked the Chiefs. I picked the Niners. How many points will be scored? It was the over under 47. You went under, I went over.
Yeah. Still no changes.
We already picked the Gatorade. You went with yellow, green, lime, whatever. I went with red. Who will win MVP? Brock Purdy, Patrick Mahomes, other. I say other.
Who do you think is going to win the MVP?
I don't know, but I think the 49ers win it, so I don't think that Brock Purdy ends up getting it. It'll be Christian McCaffrey, Debo Samuels, Brandon Ayuk, something like that. Or maybe Bosa comes off the edge and ties the record for 3 sacks in a Super Bowl, wins MVP. I think if the 49ers win it, it's Patrick Mahomes. I think if the Chiefs win it, it's Patrick Mahomes. If the 49ers win it, it's probably anybody other than Brock Purdy.
Yeah, see, who votes on the Super Bowl MVP?
I have no idea. That's actually a good question. I have zero idea.
Yeah. Because if it's the writers, if it's the same people that vote for MVP, like regular season MVP.
It can't be because they vote right then and there. So, yeah, I have no idea who votes on Super Bowl MVP.
Let's have a look. Who votes Super Bowl MVP? Chosen by a panel of 16 writers. That like they must have to turn it in like as soon as it ends.
Okay.
16 writers. So I think that changes it because I don't think Patrick Mahomes is going to win it if the Chiefs win it. And I think if Travis Kelce finishes with the most yards, I think it could be Travis Kelce just because of the public eye, the momentum, the fact that Patrick Mahomes was getting booed like at press conferences, like all of that kind of stuff. I think if the 49ers win it, it's probably going to be Christian McCaffrey. If the Chiefs win it, I think it could be Travis Kelce. So give me other. Other's the sensible one to take there as well because you get everybody.
And then for this one, the last one on this one we have is, will Travis Kelce propose to Taylor Swift after the game? 100% no.
Yeah, 100% no. They're actually quite weirdly, they're actually quite a private relationship. Like, actually, considering how much in the public eye they are, they're actually quite a private relationship. Like, they were dating. Everybody's like, oh, was that like your first date the first time we saw you at the game? No, they're not that self-centered. Like, they're not going to make it about them. Like, I don't think they like to make things about them. And they've only been together for, like, what? Not even a year, something like that. So, not a chance. Not a chance. I like the in-depth knowledge on Kelce proposal there. Like, actual analysis on a Kelce proposal.
Yeah, that's my thing, too, is, like, is it something Travis Kelce would do? Maybe. Is it something he would do to Taylor Swift? Never. She's already... like one of the biggest icons in the world right now. Like he wouldn't do that to her and put her on the spot. And like, you know, and Travis Kelce is such a team guy. He would never make the Super Bowl about him.
Yeah, it's not going to be, because if that happens, all of the news around the world becomes Taylor Swift got married at the Super Bowl. It doesn't become Chiefs won the Super Bowl, 49ers. Also, if he did it after if the Chiefs lost and he did it, like that would just be that would be the biggest like fuck you to the 49ers ever. I'm going to make this all about me. And I don't think either of them are that type of people. With obviously we know them both extremely well.
All right. And then we went through some of these that I pulled up on the other one, but there was a couple that were on here that weren't. So first offensive play of the game, run or pass. I think it's a pass. Either team. They're going to try to catch them off guard.
Yeah, I think it's a run because I think the Chiefs are going to want to test out the 49ers edge, see if it is as leaky as it's looked against Aaron Jones and Gibbs. And I think the offensive game plan for the 49ers is to run the ball quite a bit. So, but with the 49ers, it can be a catch off guard run because of the way that they can run the ball. Like start the game with Deebo Samuel running on a sweep, like on a jet sweep and those kind of things. Like they can do all sorts of crazy shit off the run.
And then we have two more. Will there be a score in the first 6 minutes and 59 seconds? Yes.
Yes. I think because we both think there's going to be scores on the opening drive of the game, right? That would.
Yes.
But it will be a long opening drive of the game. If the 49ers have scripted out an 8-minute drive to start the game, then all right.
I almost feel like you got to be eating the clock at that point to, you know what I mean, in the first quarter. Like,
yeah.
And then finally,
you've already decided.
Yeah, like we're just gonna play clock from kickoff.
You've already gone like, I'm gonna make sure that Patrick Mahomes or Brock Purdy don't touch that fucking football as much as possible. You're already going for a 40-minute game clock win.
All right, so the last one we have is the jersey number of the first touchdown scorer, even or odd.
Let's see. Who could it be? So if it's the Chiefs that score first, you would think it's Rice, who's number 4, Kelsey, who's 87.
It's odd.
Pacheco is 10. So you get the evens, or Patrick Mahomes on a scramble, which is 15. And then who would do it on the 49ers? McCaffrey, 22, right?
23.
McCaffrey, 22.
23.
Oh, 23. Oh, that changes everything. Then odd. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Brock Purdy's 13. Why can't I remember Deebo's number?
Yeah, because then it has to be, for evens, it has to be Rice or Pacheco to score for the
and Deebo's 19,
and I think it's going to be
that's odd also.
Yeah, so that's basically all the 49ers are odd. If it goes to Ayuk.
And he's 11. So yeah, odd. Give me odd. I was stuck with odd.
That one feels good. Odd feels good in that one. That's actually the most confident bet I've had in this whole entire thing. The final bet, the fact that it's odd.
Yeah, usually the only thing odd on this show is you and me.
Yeah, it is crazy what you can bet on in the Super Bowl. I'm like, there's got to be bets on adverts, all of that kind of stuff. The one thing that I miss from the one time I want to see adverts is at the Super Bowl, and obviously we don't get the Super Bowl adverts on the British coverage.
They've went to shit over the years, though. They used to be these big productions and these awesome commercials, and now they're just like normal commercials that companies are paying $10 million for 30-second spots. It's wild.
Yeah, Leo Messi is in one this year, and it's like he is just determined to never speak a word of English, like in public. Because he must speak English, right? He lives in Miami now, and like he's played football over the world, so you would think he speaks at least some English. But the ad is he walks up to a bar and orders a Bud Light or Bud, whatever Bud product they're trying to do now. It's like Bud Extra or something. And says in Spanish, like one of these. And then like everybody else in the entire ad is all talking in English. And he just in Spanish, like asks for a Bud Light and then goes off and plays football and then gets called back in English and then responds in Spanish again. Like he's just determined never to, like he's never spoken a word of English in the media, like ever, Leo Messi.
Yeah, I miss the Budweiser like frogs and shit from back in the day. You might be too young where they'd be like, Bud, why, sir? Those dudes.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah, I miss those frogs and those types of commercials. And yeah, it's just different now than it was. It used to be big production, and I don't know. They went away from. I know the Clydesdales are back though. The Budsdale Clydesdale.
Some of them are pretty huge production.
Yeah, the Budweiser Clydesdales are making a return for the Super Bowl.
Mm. Some of them are pretty huge production. I remember the Doritos one a couple of years ago where it's Peter Dinklage rapping. Like it's like super hot and he starts like rapping and his tongue's on fire and like everything like that. So that's pretty good. I think David Beckham and Victoria Beckham are doing something as well. Like after their Netflix documentary about Beckham, they're doing an advert based on that meme.
Don't you ever call her by her Christian name again. That is Posh Spice, motherfucker. Like that is Posh Spice. Like
in the UK, it's Victoria Beckham. Like
yeah, well, this is the Super Bowl. It's in the US. That is Posh Spice. Fuck that.
Sorry. Bex and Posh were doing an advert. Yeah.
Scary was still the best out of all the Spice Girls, but we won't get into that.
I don't even listen to that. I couldn't tell you a Spice Girls song right now.
She was really bad. She was the black lady with Scary Spice.
She's Mel B. Yeah, she's Mel B, right? Mel B was Scary Spice. Yeah.
And then there was Ginger, Sporty, and Posh.
Ginger, Scary, Sporty, and Posh. Yeah. And then like Girls Aloud, they didn't do a similar thing, did they? They just all went by their actual names.
I don't even know.
I don't know. There was just a time where it was just fucking British boy and girl bands just the entire time. Very strange. Very strange time. I know that one of them is married to the Red Bull F1 team director.
Okay.
I know you don't watch any F1, but yeah, they're like a power couple and she like shows up all of the time. I don't know which one it is.
I can't watch any. I don't even want to call it a sport because I get with NASCAR. I don't want to watch any skilled activity that I already know the winner beforehand. And F1, you always know the winner before the race starts.
Yeah, the past couple of seasons have been pretty rough. Like, because it's just been Max Verstappen wins again. Max Verstappen wins again. But this year, it's going to be exciting, I hope. Maybe
because it was a big thing.
It's usually exciting for the first 3 or 4 races.
It was a big thing last year or the year before because they did that Miami road race here or whatever, but they still couldn't draw the viewership they thought they would.
Yeah, they did Miami. They did Vegas this year as well, a Vegas road race. One of the best races of the season is in Austin, Texas, and that is sometimes on the same weekend that the Dallas Cowboys play at home. So me and my dad's like dream sporting weekend is to go catch a Longhorns game in Austin, and then go up to the F1 on the Sunday, and then hopefully the Cowboys are playing on the night. So then you get yourself down to Dallas in time to watch the Cowboys. Perfect.
It's like a 4-hour drive, but yeah, you could do it.
Yeah, you'd have to.
From Austin to Dallas. Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah, have to zip it. See, that never crosses our minds because we're like, oh yeah, 2 cities in the same state can't be that far apart. But yeah, 4 hours.
Texas is huge. Huge. I read something. I think it was the whole UK could fit into Texas like 6 or 8 times over. That's what Wales, Ireland. Yeah. Like.
Yeah. The UK is pretty. The UK is tiny. Like it's so little. Massive population, but tiny.
It's just weird to me that like because it never dawned on me until we started doing this. Like our states are bigger than a lot of countries.
Oh yeah, yeah. I wonder how many times you could fit Latvia into. Yeah, so like the size of Texas is mad because Texas has 30 million residents. So the UK has more than double the amount of people in it. But Texas could fit in like 6 to 7 times, like, which is absolutely insane. Totally crazy. And, everything's bigger in Texas, everything's bigger in the States. And it's Super Bowl, the kind of biggest one-off sporting event that one country hosts.
Oh, I lied.
obviously,
It's
the
2.8
Football World Cup.
times bigger than the whole United Kingdom, and it's like 8 times bigger than England or some shit like that. But it's 2.8 times bigger, Texas is, than the whole UK put together.
Still a crazy stat. Still a crazy stat considering we have more than double the population. Like you just
And
must be
that's
driving in just empty
What,
space.
4 countries? The UK is 4 countries.
Yeah.
Wales, England,
So
Ireland, Scotland.
Northern Ireland.
What?
Northern Ireland,
Yeah.
Not all of Ireland.
Yeah.
Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then you have like the Falkland Islands, Gibraltar, like weird little
The
other
Rock of Gibraltar.
areas as well. The Rock of Gibraltar. Yeah.
Well, Maddie, we got our prop bets in. We'll see how we do. Hopefully, some people can make some
I'm
money
not
if they
feeling
follow.
so confident. A lot of those are just random 50%ers, though. So you would hope we get some of them right.
Yeah, was it last year or the year before Pat McAfee lost $30,000 on the coin flip?
Good for him, man. Because like just go for it. If you've got the money to lose $30,000, do it. Like whatever.
I was watching them before we went on this morning. So last night, the guys from Pat McAfee went to a U2 concert at the new dome thing in Vegas. I forget, the Sphere.
Oh, the Sphere, yeah.
They paid $60,000 for a suite, and they hated the concert.
That's funny. Yeah, U2. I'm not keen on U2 either. Pretty interesting thing.
U2 is now one of those groups that's always in Las Vegas. They signed on to do X amount of shows a week. Like, what the fuck's her name from Canada that sang the Titanic song? Fuck is her name? Why can't I think of it? Celine Dion. She was there forever. Celine Dion. It's called residency. Right. That's what it is. They have a residency now in Las Vegas at the Sphere with U2.
That makes sense. It's like, it's an interesting thing.
I actually think Usher
on
took
Radio
over
Row.
for Celine Dion now. Usher is the new residency for Celine Dion.
Is Usher residency? Right. The other interesting thing about the Pat McAfee show is in all of the shows that are on Radio Row, you can hear McAfee's show in the background. I was listening to the PFF. Funnily enough, PFF are on Radio Row just a bit further down from Pat McAfee. So I think it would be funny if they both went over to each other's shows and started like.
JJ Watt was just on Pat McAfee yesterday too. It would have been funny if he'd have just yelled "PFF sucks" again.
Like walk past. Yeah. They like while they were doing the show, they saw JJ walk past and said like, "It would be so good for us if he came over and told us we sucked." Like it would be so funny if he came over and told us like we were shit or whatever.
I don't think he'd ever give them the views.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's the thing. Like him doing that, PFF have now made merchandise off JJ saying that, and are now selling it on their website with like they're selling their own T-shirt saying PFF sucks, which I think is funny. But yeah, you can hear Pat McAfee in the background. I bet those guys are just absolutely on it the entire time. Not like that. It must be fun for them to be in Vegas for the Super Bowl.
Well, and they've been there the last 3 years, but this is the first time ESPN's been on Radio Row in forever, and it's only the Pat McAfee show that they set up. Like Fox and ESPN don't even do Radio Row.
Yeah, it makes sense for McAfee, right? Like for McAfee, but a live audience for McAfee is just lightning. Like that feels so right. Like it's the show that has it. It's the show that requires it. It makes so much sense. Are they gonna have the Super Bowl in Vegas from now on? Is that the?
No, they move it every year.
No, I didn't think so. Do you think they would go to that because it feels like Vegas is the most set up for it?
No, because they also use the Super Bowl as like, oh, you guys built a new stadium. We'll give you a Super Bowl as a gift for building a new stadium. The reason, so in the last 2 years, anybody who lives in Green Bay can tell you, hotels have just been popping up everywhere. And I live right by the stadium, which is right on the main street that runs into the stadium split between Green Bay and Ashwaubenon. People are like, what the fuck is an Ashwaubenon? It's a city that connects Green Bay. The city, it splits. North end zone, Green Bay. South end zone is in Ashwaubenon. All of our restaurants are down Oneida, which is the Native American tribe from here, where their reservation is here, is the Oneida Indians. So on Oneida Street, when you go past Lambeau Field, that's all the restaurants are down there. So anything you can think of, our malls, our shopping, everything is down that way. Well, so everything south of me has just been hotel after hotel popping up. It's because they want a Super Bowl. They want the second cold weather Super Bowl because they did that one in New York. We got the draft in 2025. It's kind of, I think, the NFL testing to see if Green Bay can handle hosting a Super Bowl, which I think would be amazing to get Green Bay, the historic nature of Lambeau Field, to get a cold weather Super Bowl. I think it'd be really cool for the city of Green Bay. So I'm kind of hoping it works for them.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, like, would you Airbnb out your house, like part of your house for the Super Bowl?
Actually, we joked about going on vacation.
I'm sure you'd have
the draft friends and renting out our house because it's wild. Like, so the houses down the street from us for Packer games go for $900 to $1,200 a night with a 2-night minimum.
Like, it must feel worth it, right? To just, because that'll pay for your holiday, right? If you Airbnb'd out, that'll pay for your holiday.
I just don't trust drunk football people to live in my house. You just
did it for a game. That's the main issue with, like, also Airbnb's going down the fucking toilet at the moment, so it's not as easy. It's not as easy to do. But like,
what do you mean? That's the big.
It's for a holiday.
Airbnb over here is actually get so much business that hotels are trying to lobby against them.
Yeah, they're getting banned from loads of They're banned from loads of cities in Europe. Like, they're banned from like Berlin because people just buy out. Like, so those cities in Europe, like, obviously you have massive tourist destinations in Europe. So like, if you think like Paris, Berlin, like Prague, like those places where like everybody goes to every summer, what people have started doing is just buying out massive blocks of apartments, turning them all into Airbnbs because they know they can keep them filled all the way through the year, and they'll charge more than they can charge more than they charge renters. So that means that nobody can rent in it, or the prices of rent have just gone through the roof in those cities. So they've banned them like in loads of places because you just can't.
That's the same thing that happened here, and they'll never ban them.
Yeah, it helps that it's an American company, I think, Airbnb, like, for banning it in Europe, right?
And also for us, the reason it won't get banned is because it's capitalism at its fucking finest right there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I
Rich
think
people like flying up a bunch of shit and then overcharging for it. That's capitalism in it, in a nutshell.
Yeah, like in Europe you have, like, obviously Europe is a capitalist society. Like, the father of capitalism is British. Like, like the Dutch, like, basically started the idea of like a whole nation based on capitalism. But we also have like apartment blocks where you have to keep them at a certain rent in like a lot of places. Like, you're not allowed to Like you're not allowed to charge over this amount of rent. Like each city has to have a certain percentage of affordable housing. So like in the UK at least, so you can't do it. But yeah, Airbnb gets banned.
We look at England as seriously in the US gets looked at as like a socialist country.
It's not like it's not, apart from the fact that it has free healthcare. Like the one thing about it is it has free healthcare.
Compared to us, you're socialist as fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like if you think of the US's most left-wing politicians, they'll be some of the most right-wing in the UK. Like, because like our Labour Party are socialist. Like our second biggest party is technically a social democratic party. So if you take Bernie Sanders is probably the one person who, of like a mainstream US politician, Bernie Sanders is the one person that I would say would fit into like our understanding of left, like in the UK.
Yeah, there's a few over here, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, but yeah, you don't have a ton of them that are that left here. So like when they look at the UK's policies, you guys are really looked at as socialist, like over here.
Yeah, they're doing everything they can to not be. Rishi Sunak, the Prime Minister, is currently in hot water after calling a person who just got an acid attack. Somebody just got an acid attack from an asylum seeker. It doesn't matter that they're an asylum seeker or anything, but just to add context to the whole thing. She got acid attacked by an asylum seeker, and at the start of the coverage, because Rishi Sunak is a Tory, a conservative prime minister, it was always like, oh, asylum seekers, we need stronger laws on immigration, we need stronger laws on asylum. And now it's come out that the person who got acid attacked, I think they're trans, and then he's made like some jokes about her being trans, or like somebody's just died or something and they were trans, and he's now made jokes about them being trans, and it's like you can't win. So like this current government are doing everything they can to like take a right wing, but yeah.
So
I'd say we're more socialist.
Tommy Tuberville, the old college football coach who is in Congress in the US, just the other day, maybe it was a week or two ago, made a comment that Democrats are trying to get rid of women, and it was an attack on transgender people.
Yeah, I don't like it when politics becomes about like personal cultural decisions.
That's my argument.
Like I think politics and
I don't care what your belief is. You represent everybody, so shut the fuck up. That's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I don't mind. I just don't think it should get into culture wars. Like I think politics should be about finances, and where you stand on the left and right should be about your financial understanding and how we build a society, right? And I'm left because I think taxes are a good thing. Like as long as I get good services out of them, like as long as the services that I vote for, like as long as I get free healthcare, as long as I get good schools, as long as I get like roads that work, trains that work, fuck it, I'll pay taxes, like that's fine. But then I totally understand people who have lots of money who don't want to pay taxes because they can afford for private healthcare, they can afford like this, they can afford that, and they can get loads of tax cuts if they do it this way. And I understand that. What I hate is when it becomes like, or like, I hate gay people, so I have to be right wing. And it's like, but that's voting against your interests. Like, because you hate gay people, you vote right wing, but there's gay people who are rich, so they should vote right wing, and you should be voting left wing because you're poor as fuck. So like, what's going on? It's always interesting. How has this turned into the conversation?
Yeah, don't bring up taxes because you're going to get us canceled, because I just filed my taxes and I have an even bigger fuck you for Trump right now because I have to pay in because he fucking changed our tax laws. And yeah, so don't get me fucking started on politics. I just did my taxes a few days ago.
If I was paying taxes in the US, I would hate taxes because you get taxed nearly as much as we do. And we have like universities only $9,000 a year, which is still crazy extortionate, but still way less than what you spend like on university debt. Our debt doesn't count towards any credit scores. We don't have to pay it back after we're 40. You don't have to pay it anymore. And also we get free healthcare and all of that. Like the healthcare system shit at the moment, but like, you know, but we pay very similar taxes. It's crazy, crazy to me.
All right. Well, before we get canceled, hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. We will be back after the Super Bowl We'll talk about what we got right, what we got wrong, and how the game went. I hope it's a great game for everybody. I hope you enjoy the game. I hope you enjoy the food. I hope you enjoy everything about Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah, this was the Yankee and the Brit Super Bowl and Politics podcast. It turned out. Hope you have a great time watching the Super Bowl, final game of the season, before we get into drafts and free agency and all of that kind of crazy stuff as well. So like and subscribe, keep following us, guys, and we'll come together with some free agency and draft talk, which is exciting.
All right. One world, one love. Deuces.
Cheerio.